Newsbusters put together what I think is one of their masterpiece montages. I may play a couple of cuts from this because it's just so good. It's how the press has covered Biden to cover up for what he is. So no matter what Biden says, no matter what he does, no matter how foolish, no matter how stupid he looks, the press covers it up. So it's intercut, what Biden says, and then the way it's covered. I'll play the first one. This is cut 2.
The first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice-looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
Yeah. There's a part of Biden that feels more Reagan-esque that way. You're like, it's Grandpa, it's Uncle Joe.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Those "oh, that Joe" moments are part of his political charm.
I'm beginning to see why your wife left you.
So much of what is appealing about him to a lot of voters is the fact that he's authentic.
I got hairy legs.
The fact that he doesn't always seem scripted.
The kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
Your AR-14s are
okay, this is not okay. Hold on, all right? Hey, let's
don't tell me anything, pal. I want to go outside.
There's a lot of guys.
Biden yesterday showed the other side of his humanity, and that is he's a fighter.
You're full.
All right, thank you.
No, shush.
And some people see that as charming, a candidate who's willing to air it out face to face with a guy.
This is going to be a net plus for Joe Biden.
Can't do anything wrong. He's in a voter's face, putting his face and saying you're full of ass. It's like, it's fine. It's going to be a net plus for Joe Biden. This is, it's deeply offensive. It is deeply offensive. It doesn't bother me when MSNBC does it. I always tell them this at Newsbusters. You don't even have to cover MSNBC. They're openly partisan. It's like saying Sean Hannity is a conservative. Sean Hannity is a conservative. The left is the left. MSNBC is the left. But this is the networks. This is CNN. This is people who pretend that they are reporters. And it's deeply offensive to be told that we don't see what we see. We don't hear what we hear. It is really an attempt. It's almost an attempt to drive us so nuts where we start to just kind of shrug our shoulders and say, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not seeing it. I got to play another cut because one of my favorite things is covering up for the way he treats little girls. I got to say, it makes me uncomfortable. That there was that girl, not just little girls, women too, the hands all over them, the face in their hair. Who does that? I mean, really, I can understand a misstep. You react to somebody, you put your hand somewhere, you may be a little too familiar, but this is all the time. I can't remember the name of that little red-haired girl. Was it Amy? I think, where he sniffs her hair and she's cringing from it. This is in this, and they cover this all up. This is cut 3.
Little hands-on treatment from the vice president.
Everybody knows he's a touchy-feely guy, and he's just very friendly. He is. He was reportedly comforting her after she fell on ice.
It's spreading love.
Coons said Maggie was not uncomfortable at all.
Maggie, not Amy, Maggie. I mean, the look on that poor child's face as this old man sticks his face into her hair. Again, if it were, these are the referees. The press should be the referees. The press should act like the referees. They should be a meta profession, a profession that is above the fray, that is just looking at the fray. Sure, there's going to be some bias. People are going to come from the point of view they come from. But these guys are purposely hired to reinforce one another's opinions. They're purposely put together to reinforce one another's opinions and protect them from hearing contrary opinions. And they do that because leftism serves big corporations. Big corporations used to be conservative because they dealt with materials. Now they deal with information. They're not responsible to reality anymore. They're only responsible to what they can sell. And leftism helps them by suppressing competition. It's that simple. However, we should stop complaining. Some of us may feel we have something to be bitter about, like them burning our cities and trashing our Constitution and trashing our values and our norms. But there are people who have much more to be bitter about than we do, like this poor woman here. This is cut 11.
Vote for honest elections so we, not a foreign adversary, choose our president. Vote for the diverse, hopeful America we saw in last night's roll call. And don't forget, Joe and Kamala can win by 3 million votes and still lose. Take it from me. So we need numbers overwhelming so Trump can't sneak or steal his way to victory.
At least, you know, that expression they have for women now, lean in, lean in. You know, you may not like, you know, going to work while your kids are home crying for your company, but lean into it, lean into. So she's going to lean into her bitterness. I can't believe they let her do it. It was like Elizabeth Warren gave a speech to the Native American contingent of the Democrat Party. I guess they just feel like they're just going to go for it at this point, that people are going to hate Donald Trump so much they won't care. Let me just play one clip of Kamala Harris, which I just thought was kind of indicative of the whole campaign, the whole convention so far. This is cut 22.
Let's be clear. There is no vaccine for racism. We've got to do the work. For George Floyd, for Breonna Taylor, for the lives of too many others to name, for our children, and for all of us.
There's no vaccine for you, America. There's no vaccine. You are incurable. You know, every time Donald Trump gets up and talks about the things that he finds wrong with America, it's dark and divisive. You know, even from his first speech where he talked about the fact that the Midwest had been gutted by this globalist philosophy of the left. And we had lost all these jobs, and they had said they had destroyed our manufacturing base, and people were killing themselves, you know, at such a level. Americans were killing themselves at such a level that our life expectancy overall went down, and they were killing themselves with opiates, and they were killing themselves with alcohol and all the things that you do when you're unemployed, when you're hopeless. And this was all happening under Obama, and nobody knew about it until a couple of researchers stumbled on it, basically, and surprised even themselves. And that was dark and divisive. But the idea that this country is racist beyond cure, the idea that this country needs to be rioted, you need to riot in this country because that's the absolute dream of the founders who were terrified of the mob, by the way, the founders who knew democracy, unfettered democracy led to the mob and were absolutely terrified of that, that somehow the mob has become the expression of the founders' dream. It's all so dishonest. And again, it wouldn't bother me to see politicians being dishonest. That's what politicians do. If we did not have a press that basically echoes their lies, and makes an echo chamber of their lies and treats Obama like a saint and treats Donald Trump like the devil, when the truth is almost the other way around at this point. Although I won't say Trump's a saint, I will say Obama has really done a bad job. Before you go, one last thing. Hit the subscribe button so that you stay up to date on all our content.